Alright guys, it's Chatterbox Reviews, coming to you guys in my monthly review roundup for the month of February. Alright, so this will be the first video as part of this kind of new iteration of my monthly TV recap series that I've been doing on the channel now for a couple years actually. And so now I'm just going to be renaming it to a monthly review roundup because that is pretty much what I've been doing now with the monthly TV recaps, and basically just giving short reviews of the stuff I've been watching just in the last month or so. And of course, this video is going to be a little bit of January in there because, you know, last recap with December kind of overlapped a little bit. And so we didn't really have enough for January, so I just saved what was, you know, from that. Paired it in with February a little bit because February is a little short as well. So anyway, so we're putting both months together. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do this review roundup in that I literally am just gonna give short reviews of the shows I'm watching. And in that way, it's not as much of a recap, really, as more just a roundup of all my reviews. And then, of course, I am going to be doing reviews of some of these shows as well, separately, kind of long-form reviews, talking a lot of spoilers and stuff like that. One of these shows, The Righteous Gemstones, I might be doing that with just in the very near future, maybe after this one. So anyways, so that's just what it is. That's what I'm gonna try to do with this one and all that. But anyways, with all that being said, I'd love to hear what you guys have been watching in the last couple months for the start of 2022. To me, I think it's been a great start to the year. Definitely a lot better than 2021, where I was just kind of searching for anything that was out there. And, I did find a couple of good things, but just overall, this start of the year is really great, and really looking forward to what is coming in the next couple months, which I'll also talk about at the end, and I'd love to hear what you guys are also looking forward to. So what is some stuff you enjoyed, what's some stuff you didn't like, and what are you looking forward to for March, and I guess going into the spring as well. And if you enjoy this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel as well. Would really appreciate that. But without any further ado, let's get into kind of the roundup of these reviews. Alright, so the first review that I'll be giving is for the Righteous Gemstones Season 2. So this is actually the only, I think it's the only complete kind of season that I've seen out of these shows. The rest are just kind of parts of the seasons that I've seen so far. But the Righteous Gemstones Season 2, I watched all 9 episodes of this one. Wow, I really enjoyed Season 1. It was definitely, I think it was my favorite comedy of 2019 when it was out. And this has been, I mean, over 2.5 years, I think, right? Or kind of maybe approaching 3 years, getting to that point since Season 1. So crazy stuff, and obviously that wasn't just what happened in the last couple of years. This season was always going to be a little later, or a little delayed, I guess, in the writing with Danny McBride, Jody Hill, and David Gordon Green, and just kind of the people behind it. So anyways, really great to finally get Season 2, and I will say, I find it honestly kind of hard to remember some of the stuff in Season 1, but from what I do remember, I did think the Season 1 was a little bit better than the second season here. However, and that's mainly just in the story of the entire season. I think Season 2 has some really great moments, and maybe even some better moments than Season 1 did. But just the overall kind of story was a little bit more coherent, a little bit more clear throughout, and a little bit more simpler. You see in this season of the second season here, it is trying to get a little bigger. It definitely does expand, and we see kind of the bigger church community, these mega churches, and other pastors, right? The Listens come in this season. The main Listen guy is Eric Andre, so really great to see him, and of course Eric Roberts is in this as well. Just some really great guest stars. Joe Jonas comes in as well, and yeah, so just a really great kind of expanding of this world that you see. But the negative of that, I think, is that it's a little too big. I like Season 1 because it was more of a simple story and just kind of little, a lot more cleaner, and this one was just a little bit, more convoluted and just a little bit bigger in that sense. So that's just, I guess, kind of the main complaint while comparing it to Season 1. But like I said, really great moments in this one. I think this finale, and I don't want to get too much into spoilers, and if I do a longer form review, I'll definitely talk about the finale in more detail, but this was a great finale. I think even better than Season 1. Season 1 was kind of a graduated finale. I would say the last 2 episodes was really kind of the climax, or the ending, I guess, wrapping up that story. Whereas this one, they left everything until this last episode, to the point where I was actually a little worried that they would even have enough time to actually, give us a satisfying conclusion and really wrap things up. But they did. They really did. Really exceeded my expectations. One of the funniest episodes of the season for sure. And the ending is just so great. So classic Danny McBride, Jody Hill, David Gordon Green, whatever you want to call it, really. Just the 3 of them that have been behind Eastbound and Down, Vice Principals, and now this show. That's just classic. What their kind of comedy, horror, even they include in there, some drama, action, just such a great ending sequence. The last 10-15 minutes of this one, just stellar stuff. So really great with Righteous Gemstones Season 2 here. Great performances from the cast, of course, as well. Just awesome. Edie Patterson is one of the funniest. Her character in this is one of the funniest on TV right now. And she is, just how committed she is to this role and to the show and what she's willing to do. I think it may even just be unmatched in comedy on TV right now. She is so committed. Same with Danny McBride. Same with everybody. Adam Devine, John Goodman, everybody is just, and of course Walton Goggins is also great here. They're just all so committed to this, and it really shows in the way that this comedy is just really great, really stellar. So, anyways, it'll be tough to see if a comedy really surpasses this for me this year. Of course, we'll have What We Do in the Shadows coming out later this year, and Barry, which I'll talk about maybe towards the end, coming out in April. And those 2 are probably my 2 other favorite comedies. So we'll have to see. But right now, Righteous Gemstones set the bar pretty high for me for comedies this year. Really great stuff there with Season 2. So anyways, looking forward to Season 3. Hopefully we'll get it a little bit sooner than the gap between these seasons. But I do think that Danny McBride and that kind of partnership there are busy with the Halloween movies as well. So I'm not sure what, the last Halloween movie might come out, and then they might work on this. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, looking forward to it when it comes for sure. Alright, so the next show then is Resident Alien Season 2, and this was honestly one of my most anticipated shows of the year, I would say. And that's saying something for all the shows that are coming out this year. But if you had asked me, or you told me that this would be one of my most anticipated shows of 2022 a year ago, right around this time a year ago, I think I had maybe just seen the pilot of Season 1, I wouldn't have believed you. I really didn't have really high hopes for this show. Obviously I was impressed, and you can see more of my thoughts. I did make a review for Season 1. I'll probably be making a review for Season 2 while it's all said and done and the season wraps up. But yeah, I was really impressed with Season 1. Obviously, I'm more impressed with some parts than others. I didn't think it was a perfect show by any means. Definitely had some negatives in there, and definitely had some criticism of some parts. But it was really impressive, and I really enjoyed some of the really great comedy, and Alan Tudyk, of course, was a standout. So anyways, going into Season 2, one of my most anticipated shows of the year, and I have to say, the premiere for Season 2 here, I think, was the best episode of the series. It was better than any Season 1 episode. It was hysterical. I really enjoyed it a lot. From a comedy perspective, there was some great comedy, and I was laughing out loud multiple times. But then in kind of the drama and the actual story that's going, I thought that was really well done as well. I thought it was really kind of, it really brought together the ending of Season 1, but kind of created a new kind of path for Season 2, where they kind of wrote themselves into a wall with Season 1, because it was, our main character, Alan Tudyk's character, the alien, was leaving Earth. And so how do you bring him back, and how do you make him stay for the rest of Season 2 and possibly other seasons after this if SYFY renews it, which it looks like it will, because the ratings are great. But So they really did a good job of kind of reinventing the story, I would say, at the start of season 2 here, and giving a reasonable kind of reason, I guess, or reasonable kind of logic behind him actually staying for a little longer on Earth and returning. So yeah, really enjoyed the premiere, and then a few episodes here in season 2 have been a little rough, I would say. A couple of them just, I don't know. They just weren't on the same level, I would say. Something about this show that I think they have such potential to be, and I think they are getting to that point, but to be one of the most unique and really one of the best comedies on TV right now. I think they have potential for that, but something that's holding them back that I've noticed throughout season 1 and throughout these couple episodes of season 2 is kind of the drama stuff, the really cliche kind of tropey drama stuff, with the relationships and kind of the stuff going on in the town and just kind of these dynamics where it kind of takes actually away from the comedy elements of the show that are so great. And so anyways, and some people may enjoy that stuff too, right? I'm just talking from my perspective on it. What I really enjoy about the show is the comedy, ultimately. But yeah, of course, some people may actually be interested in the drama and they may want to see that. I'm not saying that the show should go away from that completely, but to me, those are definitely the weaker parts, and we've seen that a little bit in this season. But the last episode, so I've seen 5 episodes so far. I'm up to date on the run on the run of episodes so far, and the last episode, the episode 5, was really funny. Really got back to kind of that high comedy, and a little bit less drama and stuff with that. And it does look like they're kind of just pushing aside a few of the plot lines that they developed early on here that I really didn't like. So that's awesome. So anyways, really great start for season 2 so far. Like I said, a couple missteps in these 5 episodes, but overall, really great premiere, really great setup for the whole rest of the season here. And the next couple episodes look hilarious, where they're going to New York. So really looking forward to that, and looking forward to the rest of the season. Now, season 2 is being split into 2 parts, it looks like. So we're going to get, I think, up to episode 8, the next 2 weeks. And then we're going to have to wait a month or so for the next 5 episodes. Because SYFY actually gave it 13 for season 2, which is great. But we just have to wait a little longer. So anyways, probably do a review then when we get to the end of the 13 episodes. And kind of wrap everything up there. But anyways, those are my kind of initial thoughts on season 2 so far. All right, so the next show then is Peacemaker, Season 1, and this is on HBO Max. Sorry, of course, originally on SYFY, Gemstones on HBO, all that. So Peacemaker on HBO Max, I only saw 3 episodes. So the first 3 episodes that aired, I think on the same day, actually, right? So they did the 3 at first, and then 1 every single week after that, with HBO Max release. So this is one that I don't know if you've seen some videos on the channel, and I'm not a huge kind of superhero guy. I'm not really into a lot of the Marvel films or really any of like shows like The Boys. Any of the Marvel shows, of course, I haven't seen. Anyways, so this is one that I went into kind of skeptical, but one thing that really kind of sold me and made me really want to check it out, of course, was all the really positive reactions from everybody, but also the comedy. And I was really looking forward to kind of the James Gunn comedy, kind of that dark humor, right? That I really like in a lot of shows, especially like Succession, some really great dark humor there, and I love that. So I was really looking forward to that, and I was really kind of thinking, okay, maybe this is the superhero show for me because it's going to be a little unique, right? With the kind of comedy aspect, not just kind of the cliche comedy that you see in a lot of the movies, but really kind of funny, dark humor that's not really meant for family audiences, right? Like those movies are. And I wasn't disappointed. I really did like the premiere episode of Peacemaker. I honestly, and of course, I did not see the Suicide Squad movie before watching this. So yeah, I think that also has to be said too, because this is the first time I've ever met this character, a Peacemaker. So for me, going into it in the premiere, I thought they did a really good job in kind of setting up that character. Of course, giving a little bit of kind of callbacks to what that happened in the movie, and all that stuff, and trying to kind of catch us up. But I thought it was a really great premiere. And what I really enjoyed about the premiere was it was almost like it was mainly a comedy, right? There wasn't a lot of just this typical superhero tropes, saving the world or, whatever of those things, and kind of the drama of it and the action. There's a little bit of action towards the end of the episode, but it was really a lot of just great comedy. There's some really great comedic timing from John Cena, I thought, and a lot of the cast as well. And just funny situations to put a superhero into, right? And I know Peacemaker's not a typical kind of Marvel superhero, nothing like that. I understand that. And that's what I like, honestly. And so anyways, the premiere I thought was really great. Some really great comedy. I was laughing out loud throughout the entire episode. Really great stuff from James Gunn. And then to me, then episode 2 and 3. Episode 2 was still a little bit better, but episode 3 really kind of dove then deep into kind of the superhero realm of things. We got more of the action, more of the lore with the butterflies and that whole thing. And again, that's just something to me personally, and I know I'm definitely in the minority here. Most people probably would love that, and even in episode 1 probably wanted to get into that. But I was the opposite. I was wanting the show to remain more of a comedy and less about superheroes and the lore and everything. And they kind of abandoned that towards episode 3. Now, this is all just kind of prior judgment because I have not seen the other 5 episodes, so maybe that is just something that they picked up in those 2, and then it kind of gets back to the comedy, or it's kind of a mix later on. That definitely could be, but to me, just the way that it looked like it was going, it was just time for me to jump off the train after the 3rd episode. Now, I did like parts of the 3rd episode. I still thought it was funny. I just thought it really got back to kind of a typical superhero show, and less about the kind of dark humor and a kind of unique look at a superhero story, like they were going in episode 1. So anyways, those are just my thoughts, I guess kind of my initial thoughts on Peacemaker. I may go and watch, the last 5 episodes just so I have a more complete view of it. And then we'll have to see if I, check out season 2. But, yeah, I will say, really like the premiere. Definitely one of my favorite episodes of the last couple months that I've watched. I did really enjoy it. And I'm glad I checked this one out, though, because I wanted to kind of be a part of that conversation and see what my thoughts on it were. And just kind of a way for me to branch out as well into something that I don't usually check out. But anyways, Peacemaker Season 1, those are my thoughts. Again, I know I'm probably in the minority. A lot of people really are big fans of this one. And I do recognize that it is a really great show. The intro sequence as well, the intro credits, really great. I could just respect a lot of the craft from James Gunn going into this, to the point where it's not just a typical Marvel Disney show or something like that. It really does have that kind of extra feel to it, and that's just demonstrated with the intro credits, right? Perfect song and the dance scene, everything. So really great stuff. I respect it. Maybe just not for me after episode 3. All right, so next up then is The Walking Dead Season 11B, or Season 11 Part 2, whatever you want to refer to it as. So I've seen the 3 episodes that are out on AMC Plus, so I'm watching them early with AMC Plus a week in advance of them actually airing on cable. So I believe only the first 2 have aired on cable at this point, at the time of making this video. So I've seen No Other Way, New Haunts, and Rogue Element. Those are the 3 so far. So I did catch up, of course. I watched the 10C episodes. Here's Negan. Really great episode. Yeah, really great stuff there. One of the best they've done in the last couple of years of Walking Dead. And then watched the first half of Season 11, or Part 1, whatever you want to call it. And these 3 episodes have been really slow so far. I thought episode 9 was pretty good. Season 11, episode 9. I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't as good as what it could have been. And this just kind of goes along with my overall thoughts of Walking Dead. Of course, this is probably my 3rd or 2nd favorite show of all time. The early seasons of Walking Dead, like Season 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I would say. Like those 5 seasons in a row, that span of TV is just stellar to me. I just, and I know objectively it's not the best. It's not on the level of Breaking Bad. But to me, subjectively speaking, that's some of my favorite television of all time, right? And so ever since Season 9, when Rick left the show, and I would say more so in Season 10, I felt like I just don't really, I honestly am not as interested in the show anymore. And so watching these new episodes, I'm watching it mainly just for kind of the nostalgia or the fact that I've spent all these years watching the show. And so I got to make it to the end, that type of thing. But I don't know. I just don't think the show has been very good ever since basically Rick left or the ending of season 8. There's been some really good parts of it. There's been some really good episodes, but just the overall feel of the show was just gone without Rick ultimately. So anyways, yeah, some okay episodes. I like where they're going now with the Commonwealth and adapting that story from the comic books. But yeah, just overall, not something that I would think of reviewing either, because I'm just not interested enough in it anymore to really be kind of passionate and give, a long form review of it or anything like that. So what I might do though, I have done a Walking Dead seasons ranked video on the channel in the past. And so what I may actually do is update that video with season 10 and 11 once the whole series wraps up later this fall when we see part 3. So I might do something like that, but other than that, I'm not really sure if I'll touch this one. But yeah, like the direction kind of they're going. Really slow start though so far, and we'll have to see where that goes for The Walking Dead. All right. So, lastly, I just wanted to talk about this one. It's a throwback, of course. The last episode, I believe, aired in 2017. So, this is not a current show, that aired in January and February, but I did watch it in the last couple months, and that is Black Sails, the entire series. I watched, and it's actually only 38 episodes total. So it was season 1 to season 4. And I think they had 8 for season 1 and then 10 for all the others. So 38. This one was one that I saw everywhere, people talking about, and I'm really looking forward to putting together this list of my top TV shows of all time later this year, probably in the next few months, hopefully, definitely in the springtime. So anyways, I've been really looking back and watching, Mad Men, of course, Sopranos I had watched before, but Black Sails, and just some of these big shows that I hear everybody talk about in kind of the conversations about best TV shows ever. And so, and Black Sails is something I've been interested in for a while as well, just myself personally. And so I finally kind of picked it up and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. So, really did get into it in season 2. Season 1 to me again, there were some really great elements where I was like, oh, like, this is great. Why can't the whole season or why can't the show be like this? So I saw the potential in season 1. But overall, just kind of a lackluster start to the show. And that's what I saw everybody say. Everybody said, just make it a season 2. So I was like, okay, I kind of forgave it for the kind of missteps that they had throughout the season. And so season 2, I will say, is probably the best season of the show. That or season 3. Just some really great stuff. But overall, my feelings of the series, and I guess I'll talk more about this in that list of my top TV shows. But I really wanted and it was on Starz too. So it's a channel that it's like HBO. You can show nudity, and there is lots of nudity in it, that's for sure. Especially in the first season, there's almost like too much, and that's a lot of people will talk about that. But nudity, really dark thing, like, gruesome stuff. You could show anything on Starz. And so to me going into it, I was really wanting a really dark, grounded look at pirates and this world, because of course, one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time or franchises is Pirates of the Caribbean. And that's of course more of the kind of, I guess, campy look at pirates and that whole thing and kind of the comedic side of it, right? And I really wanted this show to be kind of this grounded, really dark, telling of this world and these people. And it was, but not quite to the extent I was hoping for. Some of the stuff in the show, especially in season 1, I would say, is almost like CW level kind of writing and just like kind of the themes that they're exploring. It's very cliche, typical stuff, but just in a pirate world, to me at least, right? It's like, it's like if a CW show could have nudity and swearing and a little bit more gore, right? Now again, in season 2, I think they really kind of recorrect that and kind of recorrect that path that they were going on. But yeah, I just wanted a little bit more darkness in this, a little bit more grit. Whereas I feel like a lot of the show is just a little too polished to me, and a little bit too kind of easy going, and just kind of these cliche dialogue and actions and stuff like that. But I will say, in later seasons, some of the directing in the show is simply amazing. I mean, to me, it's on the level of Game of Thrones. And that to me is some of the best directing I've ever seen on TV, and I think a lot of people have ever seen. Just the scale of stuff and the action that they did in Game of Thrones, and I think this is on that level. Some of the ship fights and some of these scenes, especially Alec Sakharov from Sopranos, he directs a lot of the big episodes of Black Sails, and he does a fantastic job. Some of the best direction I've seen for big kind of action stuff like this in movies or TV, I would say. Just really great stuff. So, and also the acting, I think, is really stellar in the last couple seasons with Toby Stephens, Luke Arnold, Hannah New, of course, Zach McGowan, Tom Hopper. So the cast really comes into their own in the later seasons, I would say. But like I said, the early seasons, some of the acting and the writing is a little bit suspect to me. But anyways, overall, a really great ending as well to the show. I had some problems with the finale, but overall, pretty satisfying ending. So really do recommend this show, though. I think a lot of people would really enjoy it, especially kind of more casual viewers who are there mainly for kind of the action and that type of stuff, would really enjoy this as well, I would say, throughout the entire run. Really great stuff. And of course, there is darkness to the show. I don't want to, say that, oh, it's just kind of happy and there's, rainbows in that. Not at all. It's just not quite to the level that I was expecting from something on Starz. Anyways, that's just my thoughts there. So that'll just about do it then for my reviews, I guess, of this one. Total episodes there, 58 for all those shows there. All right. So now I just want to end off real quick by, outlining some of the shows I'm looking forward to in March. So first, of course, finish Resident Alien Season 2. I think we got 3 more episodes of that before we get the mid-season break. So we'll finish those episodes up, and I'm really looking forward to those. They look really funny, going to New York. Really great stuff there. All right. So next then is Our Flag Means Death, Season 1, and this is coming March 3rd. It actually came out 2 days ago, and I have seen the premiere episode of this, but I'm saving my thoughts on the season for next month's review roundup. So I'll definitely share my thoughts there, but really, really looking forward to this one. Taika Waititi is in it. I don't believe I guess he directs the first episode too, but I don't think he's involved in any of the writing or anything like that, but really great, and I'm really looking forward to what this season will bring for that one, and that one's on HBO Max. Then we have Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. This one has been in the works forever, it seems. I think even since 2018, 2019, so it's been almost 4 years, I would say, in the process. This is Adam McKay directing the premiere episode. And, of course, John C. Reilly's in it, Adrian Brody, a lot of kind of big names involved. And, of course, it's about the Los Angeles Lakers and the whole Showtime Lakers era. So I'm really cautiously optimistic for the show, I will say. The writers, or at least I guess the main writer of this show, is also the writer who did the Terror Season 2, which I thought was not very good. And also, I think the writer of Godzilla, that movie recently. And also Kong Skull Island as well. And those shows, to me, don't really speak to kind of the direction that this show is trying to go in, and trying to be this more like, deeper, dramatic look at this time, right, kind of behind the scenes. And I'm not sure that writing of Godzilla and Kong Skull Island, or even the Terror Season 2 really lends itself that well to this. So anyways, I'm cautiously optimistic for this one. It is coming March 6th. It's coming this Sunday. So I will definitely check out the premiere for sure. Share my thoughts on that next month's roundup. But yeah, just a little cautiously optimistic, but looking forward to it. It is going to be HBO's biggest thing now, and they are really going to push this thing. It's taken their Sunday night primetime slot, so we'll have to see. I think it's going to be really popular, and I'm really just hoping it's good. It lives up to it. And then lastly, we have Mr. Mayor Season 2, and that's going to be coming out March 15th. I'm looking forward to this one. Again, cautiously optimistic, I would say. Season 1, I thought, showed potential. It showed kind of signs of being maybe something, you know, that develops into, I'm not going to say Parks and Rec, but something close to that it may actually kind of get to that next level. But a lot of the episodes in Season 1 were just not great. They were just not great. Now, but a couple, or maybe I guess 3 of them, I thought were actually really quite good. So I think it has a lot of potential. And we'll have to see with Season 2. This is a show that Tina Fey is currently writing with Robert Carlock. And so, of course, she doesn't write every episode, but I guess she's kind of the showrunner now with him. So it has a lot of potential, I think, and we'll have to see where Season 2 comes in. But I think I'll watch the first few episodes and then kind of see where it's at and kind of gauge my my interest in the rest of the season that way. But anyways, that'll just about do it then. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you've been watching the last couple months, like I said off the top, and also then what you're looking forward to in March. Do any of the series that I talked about here interest you? Are you looking forward to them? Are you not looking forward to them? Is there other stuff that I missed? Love to hear your guys' thoughts on any and all that stuff for sure, as always. So yeah, really great stuff here. Really looking forward to the next few months of TV. Of course, we have, I didn't mention it, but Better Call Saul and Barry coming in April. So I can't wait for the next few months of TV. It's going to be really great. Really looking forward to it. Yeah, really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that as well. But anyways, once again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this one, and we'll see you then in my next video.